Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. Let me get that kitty cam fixed up over here. And Kitty was doing weird movie stuff. He was moving around on me. All right. Well, greetings everybody. Welcome back. And today we're going to look at a Linux Mint Debian Edition versus a good old Granddaddy Debian. And we will see which one of these pits up well against one another. So, how is everybody today? Where's my comment feed at? There's my comment feed. Found my comment feed, everybody. Isaiah Briggs, greetings. If I switch the Debian one to SID, and then let me choose Linux Mint Debian Edition. Yeah, I agree with it. That's going to be a challenge that we have looking at this distribution is that, yes, indeed, there is a version of it that is... the version is a version behind Debian, and we have to reckon with that as we go through. Bruce Scott, greetings, Bruce Scott. How's it going there? Greetings and salutations, everybody. Joe, is that you? Zhang, how's it going there? Did I do that? Zai Hao Zhang? Is that? Yeah, I've never known how to pronounce your name right. Chris, how's it going there? Hungry guy, are you hungry? I had me a big ham and cheese omelet today, so I'm not a hungry guy. I'm a full guy myself. Adam Storm, greetings. How are all of you doing? Yeah, we are doing well over here as well. Let me slide this camera a little bit up too. It's too close to the edge. Some more. How's it going there? Hello to you. Not a whole lot of activity going on in the comment thread. I'm hoping we have a little bit more craziness going on so that I could wait a few minutes before jumping in. Make sure we get a good quorum of people watching before we jump right on into the topic. Hello, Alt and greetings to you. How's it going there? Got 33 reporting there, 36 reporting there. So looks like things are actually reporting well. This will be a good time to announce I will not be doing a stream tomorrow, which is the supporter stream. I will not be doing a stream on Saturday either. We will be doing the weekly news roundup on Friday. Taking a couple days off here. Tomorrow's just crazy. I have like back-to-back meetings all day long, and I'm hoping to be able to get the Christian show up and running. I don't know 100% sure if that's going to happen, but we'll see. We'll give it a try. Saturday, I'm just taking a day off. So, yeah, no tech. Won't be around later, yeah. And let's see. Good. Got bullied by Windows fanboys yesterday. Well, come on back to the Linux crowd, guys. We'll be nicer, I hope. But you never know with the Linux community. Who knows? John Ryan, hi to you. Or is that a high five? Greetings. Sup from Arch. That's right. We are also monitoring comments on the Discord server on live chat over there on the Discord server. I have my mango peach tea again, and I only have one bag of this stuff left. Then I'll go back to something that's literally from this decade. I think this stuff is last decade's. Anyway, not too bad. Not too good either, but honestly. All right, shall we go ahead and dive on into the show? I think we have 30 some folks jumping over here, so let's go ahead and jump on into the show now, shall we? Where is my web browser view? Actually, I want this view first. All right. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Thanks for watching the show, and today we are going to do another DistroWars, and we are going to look at Linux Mint Debian Edition, LMDE, versus Debian, the grandfather of the Linux world. And before we dive on in, you can help support the channel if you'd like by heading on over to shop.switchtolinux.com to get some Switch to Linux stuff. We got some t-shirts and mouse pads and backpacks and coffee cups and things. So we have RMRF No Preserve Root September 2018 Code of Conduct. We also have Switch to Linux, you fool. We have some cats in tinfoil hats. So all sorts of fun stuff over there at shop.switchedtolinux.com. But with that, let's go ahead and dive on over into the topic. So we're going to be looking at Linux Mint Debian Edition versus Debian. And I wanted to kind of start by looking at the websites, because one of the factors you might consider Linux Mint Debian Edition is if you are newer in the Linux world, but at the same time want more of a classic, maybe a little bit less user-friendly entry into the Linux world, but at the same time, you don't want to be fighting too much with it. We have a little interestingness going on here. So, of course, I installed Debian where we have a choice of what to install with Debian. I installed it with the same Cinnamon desktop environment that we're going to have in Linux Mint Debian Edition, leading us to the pros and the cons. The pros of your LMDE is that it's going to be easier to install. It is easier to find the download, land on the page, linuxmint.com, and you can actually go right on over to the LMDE or just click on the download page and you should be able to find what you need. Actually, I think you do need to go to the LMDE for the download here. You can download the 64 or the 32-bit. You only have a single option, and that's going to give you the Cinnamon desktop environment. You are going to get newer versions, despite Debian right now is a newer version. This is another little caveat to this video. Linux Mint Debian Edition is still running Debian 9, but Debian itself is on Debian 10. So if you're watching this right about the time we're doing this video, that is one of the things we are going to have to keep in mind, is that Debian has already rolled. Linux Mint Debian Edition is just preparing to roll. And so, of course, if you know that if you're in the Arch world, it kind of rolls like daily. I mean, I just installed updates yesterday, and I think I still have like 50 updates to install today. That's how fast Arch whirls. Debian rolls about as quick as an Ice Age does. It'll get there. Might be a couple years out. We're only on the second or third Debian since I've been in Linux, and that's been a while. And Linux Mint Debian Edition rolls sometime after that Debian is done. And so we are going to be comparing an older version of Debian with the Linux Mint version versus the newer version of Debian on our raw Debian. One of the little caveats that I can't really do much about, but it's worth worth mentioning here. Now, we do, despite Linux Mint Debian Edition is the older version, it actually is running the latest version of Cinnamon versus Debian is not. We're going to see that when we actually boot into the virtual machines. Now, back to the cons on Debian. I defy you to figure out how to download Debian to install, because this has got to be the worst, like the least user-friendly site in the Linux world. We have a whole lot of things. Of course, we have the getting over here, but you're looking at this going, what do I do? I don't even know what I do. There's a network installed. There's the CD, USB, ISO images, there's CD vendors, there's pre-installed Pure Blends Debian packages. There's also the getting Debian view, which drops you onto this page here, and it's just balls of text, and you don't know what you're doing. You can download an installation image, download a small image, download a 64 or 32-bit net installer. We have torrents for 32-bit. We have torrents for DVDs, 32, 64-bit. We can try a live key over here. We can buy a computer with Debian pre-built. There's some cloud images. It's actually difficult to figure out. Now, if you dig deep enough, you can even also find things that will have, you can also find versions of Debian that have the non-free repositories already unlocked for you and things like that. What does all that mean? Well, one of the downsides of Debian is sometimes you do need to fight with it to get your hardware working, because it does follow, like Fedora, a pure open source philosophy at its core, meaning that there will be nothing proprietary on your computer, which is actually good, but there's going to be some hardware equipment that may not work well. Linux Mint Debian Edition by the Linux Mint team, everything's generally going to work very well out of the box because they enable those non-free repositories out of the box. And so for me, what I did here is I just went over and I downloaded the 64-bit net installer because I kind of knew what I wanted to do. And the net installer, if you know what you're doing and you know how to get everything installed, is going to be your best way to go. So with all that, we are going to go ahead and dive on into these distros. We're going to look at Linux Mint Debian Edition first, and then we're going to we're going to go ahead then and look at the raw Debian second. And I'm going to, one of the things I did is to test Qt versus GTK applications. We have GIMP and Evolution installed as our GTK samples, and we have FileZilla and Sigil installed as our Qt samples. And we're going to go ahead and get these guys booted up as soon as we're ready to go. And I am going to have to change the screen resolution on Linux Mint Debian Edition, because even with the guest editions installed, it is not reloading itself full screen for me. So that's a virtual machine thing, the fact I'm using an old virtual machine. Oh, wow, it actually did work for me. Shocking. I actually did not anticipate that. Let's go ahead and have a look. Of course, our colors are bad on our desktop background. That's actually the bad coloration there is actually due to the guest VirtualBox guest editions. So don't worry about the weird coloration on the background. In fact, if I can probably change that and it'll fix itself. Let's go ahead and change the desktop background to something else. There we are. There we are. Now we're back. Now on to Linux Mint Debian Edition. One of the great things is you have this nice welcome screen when you boot up. You don't get one of these on Debian. So you can show it or hide it at startup. There is the first step, sets up system snapshots, installs your multimedia codecs. That's something else that Debian doesn't do for you out of the box. We're just going to go ahead and install those, enter my super secret password that's definitely not 123. And that guy is going to install everything. Well, that's doing its installation process. We can go and load up our update manager. I already ran our updates. Now, since this is running a new version of Cinnamon, we have the option, do we want to go with a traditional Cinnamon desktop layout, which is going to look like this one here, a little bit smaller of a screen. We have quick launch bars over here. Everything that is open shows up on our panel. This is actually my preferred, but I do actually like the larger sizes and things of the modern, and I actually have a video about how to convert your modern to the old standard while keeping the new stylistic designs and things. So you do have an option inside of this one because it is running the latest version of Cinnamon. We also have various system settings. We have a software manager that the Linux Mint software manager and the Linux Mint updater is absolutely amazing. One of the best. We have Flatpaks installed, installations here. We can sort by the various types of items that we are looking for. And as far as our system updates, we can come over here. It's reminding us to set up snapshots. It's reminding us to do a local mirror. We can turn those guys off if we want to. But we can also do things, let's see, I think this one does not allow us to do the kernel adjustments, I think. Yeah, the Linux Mint Debian Edition does not allow us to do the kernel adjustments. But let's go ahead and see what version of kernel we are running. So we are running 4.9 on Linux Mint Debian Edition. Overall, the theming of the system is very nice. It's what we'd expect from Mint. It may not be everybody's cup of tea, but it actually does look very nice. We are having issues with my menu there. I'm not sure why that was. No, I don't want that. Okay. We can come up here into themes, and I believe we can choose a different type of theme settings. So we do have all of our basic colorations and theme options. So any highlight colors for controls, for backgrounds. We also have a variety of different themes installed. So we do have the nice elegance of Linux Mint involved in here. As far as some of the software, we are going to have a little bit older software versions simply because of the fact that this guy is running the older version of Debian. Of course, our web browser is going to be very new and modern, but our GIMP, you'll see, is a little bit older. Go ahead and close this guy out here. Close those tabs. Let's switch this guy to the single window mode and just have a look at what this application is going to look like. So we're going to look at this, and we're also going to look at Evolution for our GTK applications. So, of course, GIMP here, it's giving us nice theming. Of course, we do have the option. In fact, the newer version of GIMP, it actually has its own theming options. So you'd actually have to go into, I think it's under your preferences, and you can change your theme settings around. So here we just have the theme settings between the larger and the small icons. Everything else matches the system themes. What we find on the newer version of GIMP is the ability to control the themes independently. So very much like GIMP is doing the same thing that Kdenlive does, where it picks its own themes. It doesn't care what your system's running. But you can't always check the system. All right, we're going to... No, all right, Evolution. I'm going to have to pull that up again and walk through a couple steps there. Okay, next. I wanted to get into it. We're not... Okay, what am I doing here? Come on, Evolution. On the Debian version of Evolution, it doesn't... It's like wanting me to restore from a backup. I don't want to restore from a backup. All right, that's fine. Bob at bob.bob. How's that? No, we're not going to look up email servers. I was hoping I could get into Evolution on this version without actually going through all this mess, because it's... Let's just see if I can get something running, even if it's going to fail. We're just going to get stuff to run. Next, apply. There we are. Now we'll get Evolution open. Newer versions of Evolution, you don't have to go through all that nonsense. But you'll see, once again, everything is matching our theming just fine. So 2 GTK applications, everything does seem to work. Very nice, very united. Our 2 applications for Qt, let's have a look at FileZilla, and we will also have a look at Sigil. All right, so this guy over here, again, no problems at all. Very seamless, very flawless. Everything looks good. And if we change our basic system themes, then we will have the ability basically to see how everything else is going to work. So let's go ahead and change our system themes. Okay, we're going to go with some red highlights here. All right, so now changing everything over to red. Everything is still matching very nicely. There's our Qt. Let's go ahead and open up our GIMP again. Once again, everything is following our system theme perfectly. So Linux Mint Debian Edition does a very good job of installing everything, getting the whole system to work right. Everything does look good, except I still hate the Linux Mint icons. I do prefer those newer ones. Overall, we get a very nice system. It's going to have, like I said, it does have your non-free repositories enabled. What that's going to mean is that drivers that are not open source, more proprietary things will be installed. Some people have a big deal about that. Some people just prefer their system to work. So that's what we're getting on Linux Mint Debian Edition. So now we'll actually go ahead and jump on over and look at our real Debian build. All right, let me go ahead and get that guy booted up. We'll have a quick look at some comments, and then we will dive on into the next part. Let's see. Watching this on Ubuntu 19.10 with XFCE on Terminix. How's it going? Very good. Andrew McClure, hello. And Alexander, hello to you as well. Okay. LMDE was discontinued. At least not as supported. No, it's always something that they're always rolling and exploring. It just doesn't update itself a lot. All right. And we use Signal, and is it good? I use Signal. It's kind of like web browsing. It's better than a lot of the other nonsense we have, but frankly, I hate the direction it's going. Keeps on wanting to update itself repeatedly. I cannot find anything about what these updates are doing, and every single time I am forced to update it, because you can't use it if you don't update it, it's like, we've got new stickers! Stickers! What am I, 5 years old? I don't want stickers. For crying out loud, I want to be able to text somebody. Oh my god. I hate Signal, but yes, I use Signal because it's better than It's better than a lot of the other nonsense. All right. Let's see. Is Toss here? If you're here, someone must have you in the trunk because I'm not seeing your stuff up here. Hello, Anna Rita. Greetings. CPI's Vince. Greetings to you. July from your Debian virtual machine. Very good. Hello, Gnostic. Brennan Brown. How's it going there? That was Linux. That is LMDE 3. If I didn't, I didn't actually look to see if there was a beta of 4 floating around or not. I just downloaded the one from the site. Hey, Debian, but so far it's nice. Oh yeah, it's very nice. Debian's very nice. Okay, let's see. I wanted to use a video chat with my fiance for now. Yeah, I mean it'll do a good job of that. Does it do video though? I can't remember if it does video chat or not. I know it does audio chat. Perfectly fine. I've used it several times. Did you recommend for an older Pentium 4 computer? I would go with Peppermint. Mint use Debian Stable or Debian Base? Debian Base. Review an old desktop computer. Any distro recommendations? Yeah, I'd use Peppermint for something that old. All right, so let's go ahead and boot up Debian here, and then we'll get started back there on Debian. For your book, the end of the book, so my wife was confused, so I told her it was. Yes, part 4 is the end of the book. Part 4 is the end of the book. Left you on a little bit of a cliffhanger there, didn't I? So Linux Mint Debian Edition work in live mode, but does not install. It should install. Now, I actually use the Calamaris install. No, wait, there's 2 installers on Linux Mint Debian Edition. One of them will sometimes fail to install. It's an issue with that particular installer. I think it's the Calamaris one, where you actually have to go in and you have to clear the hard drive out first and then run the installer. The installer fails to clear the hard drive. I have found that to be an issue with the installer. I think it's the default installer they're using. Use the other installer and it should work, or just clear the disk out with disks and then run the installer. That's an issue with the individual thing there. Uh-oh, she didn't like it? She loved it but wanted more. Well, I set you up for the sequel is what I was doing in the book. What, do you think I'm just going to write just one science fiction book and leave it at that? Of course not. Want to get the second book going. Would I recommend for old machines besides Peppermint OS? Try MX Linux. All right. Older machines? Yeah, you could try an Arch Linux with XFCE. That'd work too. And here we are on Debian. So we are running Debian Cinnamon, and right out of the box, you see that we are running the older version of Cinnamon. Our menu doesn't have a nice menu icon here, and it doesn't have quite as nice theming as the other one did out of the box. We'll go ahead and explore if we have more theming options available. I honestly don't remember. So looking at our backgrounds and things, we do have a number of backgrounds we could choose from. So let's go with a good old classic Debian background. There we are. We'll go with a good old classic Debian background. Overall, the theming of this out of the box, it really does look pretty atrocious. We don't have desktop icons on the system at the install. We actually can add them back on. If we go into desktop settings, we can turn these guys on if we want to. I'll just turn on the ones that I like to turn on. So we can turn on the icons. They're just disabled on startup. I'm not exactly sure why. So let's go ahead and have a look at our terminal. My apologies for this. The terminal on Debian is horrid. So we are running 4.19. If I remember, the other one was 4.9, right? So we are running a little bit newer of a kernel, I think. Certainly by no stretch of the imagination, a absolutely modern kernel. You will notice we don't have an actual updater over here. You're going to have to run your updates manually. We also don't have a software installer other than Synaptic Package Manager. So once again, if you don't really know exactly what you're looking for, then Debian is going to be a little bit harder to use just because you'd have to go in here and sort for the packages or do them through the terminal. Once again, I did install the software packages. Of course, GIMP came pre-installed, and GIMP is the latest version because this version is actually newer. And I already came in here and I did change the theming to be the system theming. It did come with its own theming, which I didn't like actually. So I went ahead and changed this to the system theming. We also want to run Evolution. And let's see if on this version of Evolution, see, here's what I was hoping it would do, where it gives me the information without having to set anything up. Once again, it does match the theming just fine on 2GTK applications, so I'm not really noticing any real issues or any real problems. Now, a lot of this is because Cinnamon itself does a pretty good job with Qt versus GTK. Let's go ahead and pull up our Qt applications. So looking at Sigil and FileZilla, once again, we're noticing that things do appear to be very good, very consistent with the rest of the system. And just for comparison, here is a built-in system application. You can see everything is pretty much identical, absolutely identical. So no issues at all with the theming across Qt, GTK applications. Now, the theming itself is atrocious, so let's see if we actually have other theme options by default. We do have, we have our default, or we have a few other ones. So we actually can go through. We can't go back to default, so don't change off a default unless you definitely want to. But we do actually have a few options here. So let's see how the theming can actually look. We have Cinnamon, we have Blue Submarine, Blue Menta. Let's go with our Menta theming. All right, so this is kind of our theming, choosing down the board all Menta. Just go with that. Let's just double check our theming, make sure our theming all looks good, consistent throughout. 2 Qt applications look pretty good. Let's go ahead and open GIMP back up and open up Evolution back up again. See how these guys look. And once again, everything on our theming is consistent throughout. Looks like these menus are a little bit bigger, don't they? Let's pull up Sigil. Ooh, Sigil did not match our theming. Let's go ahead and reboot Sigil, see if that's just a rebooting issue. Okay, so Sigil actually is not going to be giving us quite as good consistency, although FileZilla does. So we have a few little small inconsistencies. Small, that's a weird new word. Small inconsistencies in how things are running. Other than that, though, the overall system is pretty good, pretty consistent. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the theming options that we have, but that's pretty minor, especially in Cinnamon, because we have the ability to come over here, hit Add New, and you can actually download all of the different theming options that you want over here. Not sure if you can actually install, let's see if you can install the Mint ones. You can't install the default Mint ones here, but you could actually port them over if you really wanted them. But again, you can just go ahead and install new themes for, you know, whatever these guys are. So what was that? Blue Mint, there it is. Go ahead and install your Blue Mint there. Some of these will have window border decorations and things. Some of them won't. So it kind of depends. In this case, we don't. So not a huge deal with the theming because there are options and ways to get more theming options across the board. The system itself, this version is newer packages just because one of the downsides of Linux Mint is that it has not updated itself yet. Everything else is going to be fairly consistent. Now, the one area that you are going to have an issue with is, like I said, the repositories. So if I go over to here. I got to remember exactly where we're going. I think we're going into nano sources list. So what you'll see inside of here, and my apologies if your eyes are now bleeding, how horrible this terminal is here. You'll see here that we have Buster, main, and that's all we have. If we were to go across all of these guys and add our I think it's just called non-free, although don't quote me on that exactly. Basically, we add non-free to all of these and then update it. Now this is going to add the non-open source repositories. Debian, by a philosophy, doesn't like to do that, but it is fairly easy to do that if you need to. Linux Mint has those already set up. So there are our two distributions side by side, advantages, disadvantages. Overall, both excellent distributions. If you're not wanting to do solid customization and you want a better out-of-the-box experience, I would probably go with the Linux Mint Debian Edition. If you do need the newer packages, the current Debian, eventually they will have a new Linux Mint Debian Edition out based on the newer Debian. But at the same time, it doesn't really matter exactly. You do have easier access to install the various codecs and other items inside of Linux Mint Debian Edition. And despite it being a little bit older on the rest of the software, it does give you the latest Cinnamon version, which some people might want that latest Cinnamon version. Some people might really like the older version. Again, I do have a video on how you can take the older version, or excuse me, the newer version, make it function just like the older version, even though it is, it has the larger icons. A little bit, in my opinion, a little bit easier to use. Those are kind of my thoughts. Neither one of them is going to be bad. Neither one of them, I think, is absolutely better under all cases. It just depends on your individual use case scenario. Do you want to do the custom tweakings? Do you want to do the fine system settings? Or are you happy with it out of the box? If you just want something up and running, Linux Mint Debian Edition is going to be better. Another major advantage of Debian, though, you can pick desktop environments that are not Cinnamon. If you want to run something that's not Cinnamon, you have that option as well. So those are my thoughts on these two distributions. Let me know your thoughts on these two in the comments down below. If you liked the video, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave me some comments and things like that down in the videos. And I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. All right, let's see here. Let me go ahead and shut down the Debian here. Shut down the Debian. Did Sleepy just sneak away? Went. Okay. Hope to get one of your books. Well, John, what do you want to read? So I have 6 Christian books out right now, and I have a science fiction book that will drop into the market. We're shooting for about May is the target for the release of Synaptergy. So if you want to get updates onto when that is occurring, when that's coming out, you can head on over to the mailing list, which is at synaptergy.com/newsletter, or if you can't spell that, tlm.li/s. Hit the little orange button there for the newsletter, and you can sign up on the newsletter. So I just dropped that in the comments down there. And we're also working on another fascinating book that I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to write part 2. Part 2 is driving me crazy, but we'll have more about that later. All right. Okay. Gonna hate, but Debian is horrid. Nah, I disagree. I won't hate you, but I disagree. Hello, Farron. Greetings. That is Debian Buster, I believe. Whatever the latest Debian stable is. And so Debian is a distro meant for stability. It's also one that's meant for the average consumer to customize to their own liking. Also suggests running Debian SID unstable. It's extremely stable for being an unstable release. That's right. Saying Debian is not important. It's extremely important. Just don't like it. Yep. Yeah. It's different preferences, you know. A video about intro MS. Yeah. Okay. Probably bootload. Yeah. Off the top of my head, I can't even tell you exactly what it is off the top of my head. Like and comment and all. There you go. Okay. Business. Where did I get the testing and unstable ISOs? Yeah, they are all on the websites. If nobody has posted those yet, then I'll go hunt them down. Time and patience, go Debian. If you want things to work, go Linux Mint Debian Edition. Absolutely. Linux Mint Debian Edition is still Debian 9. What email client supports Gmail? Any of them would. You can support Gmail because Gmail has easy SMTP and POP3 settings, so any client is going to work. So Evolution would work on it, Thunderbird would work on it, Mailspring would work on it. Any of your Linux email clients would work with Gmail. Throw a thumbs down if you're a cheapskate. There you go. Hey, I'm a cheapskate. Can I thumbs down my video? All right. Don't realize the nightmare Debian can become for a somewhat beginner. Yeah, for a somewhat beginner. Yeah. Well, my poor client is having a rough go with Linux Mint 19.2 XFCE. Been having issues since day one. Really? Interesting. Really too old for me. The Flatpak doesn't seem to work as good as it does on Debian 10. Yeah, I haven't tested many of them out. May switch her out for Mint Debian. She's been running an HP Streambook. I'm very disappointed. I'm frustrated because I really want her to be thrilled with it and tell her everyone she knows. Why'd you go with XFCE? There's a thought. Is there a reason for that? Original Debian doesn't come with cups installed. That is an issue. I remember having to install cups to get the printing to work on it. Yeah, yeah. It's more than just non-free. Yeah, like I said, don't quote me exactly because I haven't done it for a while, but it's something to that general effect. Yeah, pretty disheartened with Linux period right now, but she's okay with everything, not upset or anything. Yep. Go on site Friday evening to try to get everything straight, so I'll consider that. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure if Cups is installed on Debian. I remember having to install Cups when I installed the printer when I was running Debian before. But I'm not 100% sure about that either. Fix an issue with one of the Linux machines I deployed at work. It appears someone decided to hard shut down the machine during an update. Ooh, that's not good. 76 viewers and 31 likes. Oh yeah, come on, guys, breaking my heart. That's all right. All right, okay. Rerunning. Sort it by rerunning updates. Yep. Can't install Resurrection Remix on your Galaxy S9 Plus. That's sad. Why is that? Oh, do you have the S9? If I remember correctly, only only the international S9s were unlockable, I think. Is that what the case is? Cheapskates have money on their bank account and emergency happens, no big deal. Yep, that's what I'm with. I think, though, Simple Tech, I think Cinnamon is a way better experience than XFCE. So unless there's a hardware reason why you're going XFCE instead of Cinnamon, I would absolutely do Cinnamon for that. Okay, let's see. Personally disagree with the FOSS philosophy. However, FOSS software itself is pretty good. Yep, good enough. Yep. Having the worst time with my old 686 the last 3 days, no matter what to do with it. It says no, one way or the other. Yeah, but you might just have one that's so old the processor or something stopped working, you know. Any problems with the libs inside of Debian because I make my own app images sometimes? Yeah, there you go. Thanks for the content. Well, thank you for watching, John. It's hung on completion. I had to reboot the system yesterday. Low-end hardware, that was the other reason. Simple Tech, the other thing I would try and do if it's low-end hardware, rather than going Linux Mint XFCE, go with Peppermint. Now having the lunch. Ham and cheese and a whole ton of garlic sauce. What, no Vegemite dipped in there? Vegemite dipping sauce, you know? Pretty the pool fool who needs to speak with you next. Nice. Working until I started to mess with it, and maybe it was the problem. Nah, maybe. Okay. Selling it, just selling it or my workstation right now. Thinking on my workstation. Yeah, I just put Peppermint on that Asus, and it seems to take it pretty good. I'll have to boot it up and double check it before I take it back over. What I'm going to do is actually take some of the Peppermint videos I did and put them right on the desktop. Dia, why not use your kitty cam to increase your channel popularity? I mean, I use the kitty cam a lot. Right, kitty? We're talking about you. We're talking about you. You want to come up? We're talking about you. People are talking about you. You want to come up? Want to come up? Oh, I think we got to take her. Come on, bud. Come on. Come on. We got a cat. Houston, we got a cat. Here you go, bud. You gonna lay down or you just gonna stand there? What you gonna do? Gonna lay down or you just gonna stand there? If you lay down, I can put the camera on you. You can be cute in the cameras. There we are. See? Everyone like, comment, and subscribe because we got a cat. All right. Peppermint or LMDE or Manjaro. I'd go with Peppermint of all of those. Oh, or try MX. That'd work. Still having suspend resume issues on Linux Mint 19.3 when upgrading to the 5.3 kernel. Huh. Interesting. I would probably do the bug report to Death Panthers Arrive. That's right. Kind of want to run Peppermint to honor Mark Greaves. Didn't really know him at all well, but do miss him in the chat. Yeah, I'll tell you that when I'm talking low end, I always run the Peppermint. It's just so good. Except for challenges. Yep. Kitty owns the channel. I'm just the dispensable employee. That's right. He's the CEO of the company. Right. You're the CEO, huh? You're the CEO. I think that my other cat is the complaints department. She's so crude. You know, she's just so rude of a cat. Like, she'll run into the room, meow really loud at you, hiss, and turn around and run away. It's like, what are you doing, cat? She's like crazy. And then we got this guy, the complete polar opposite. He just loves being in the room with you. He just chills, you know. All right, are you going to fire me, kitty cat? You going to fire me? Huh? You going to fire me? Okay. Yeah, I think Peppermint's going to work better for you. Cat channels going over 1 million views. Yeah, my cats aren't interesting enough. They just lay there. My cats, like, don't move much. They're fairly inert. Want some kitty treats. We'll go ahead and feed the kitty, and then we might actually wrap this thing up a little early. Who knows? Extern OS Linux 2 test. I will be having a look at that. We will not be running a stream tomorrow. There will not be a supporter stream. If I get the chance, I very well may do an extern OS beta 2 look. All right, see you later, Vince. Don't breathe on anybody too harshly. Cats are the same. One's friendly, the other's hiding from the FBI. That's right. Have to gas that thing out, all right? Is there a known issue with Debian 10 for freezing from time to time? No way other than pushing the power button. I've not heard of anything. Peppermint ISO seems to be offline and some report breakages. Yeah, I actually had a number of people report that on my channels. I'm like, what's going on? So I actually went and looked at it today and didn't have any problems. Let me go ahead and try it again right now. Peppermint OS. Let's go ahead and have a look myself right now. Direct download. Ooh, that's right. Direct download's not there. Torrent download's not there either. Wow. Yeah, that does seem to be a problem. That's extraordinarily sad. Are there forums? Where's the Peppermint OS forums? All right, let's see. Not seeing anything there. Okay, let's see. When Peppermint homepage, click download link. Both of the links, direct and torrent, giving the following error. Yeah, apparently the downloads are down, and somebody posted up on the comments there today, and not there. I wonder. So here's a fun question. I am completely ignorant on the entire concept of torrents. Do I have? Oh shoot, I don't even have the torrents here. I was gonna say I might actually have the .torrent file if that would actually help anybody, but no, I actually deleted a bunch of stuff off my computer today, and the torrent file was one of those things. So sadless, I don't even have the torrent file anymore. So. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with it, and, yeah, ooh. Yeah, I downloaded it last night. Okay, let's see. Later, John. All right, been using Debian Cinnamon for a while, a little over a month. I've liked it. Yeah. Recently switched to Cinnamon. Okay. Matters how a man lost his wife, lost his life, but how did Mark pass? Yeah. I don't know. All right, not as... okay, let's see. Okay. Seriously don't have time with 3 ISOs I do a month. Yeah, alright. Let's see. External OS bases Linux, Ubuntu Bionic with JavaScript. Yep. I think any distro has a boot repair tool. Linux, the new Linux Mint has a boot repair tool. On the live key, Linux Mint 19.3 has a boot repair tool. Okay, did a lot of work. Honestly, I'd push it and make it a point to install for clients, run myself, everything would run. All right, let's see. Let me check DistroWatch. Let me see if there's anything about Peppermint over there. New eLive. Not seeing anything there. It's a lot, did honestly. Okay, rather take pride in that. Not sure I'm right for the job. No developer. Maybe DistroWatch ISO would still be active. No go either there. All right. Let me check. Take a look at Peppermint. Yeah, not found going directly there. Torrents not found. Well, I wish I knew that before I went through and deleted a bunch of stuff. I would actually throw one up and host one on one of my servers for a while for him if it was an issue of something's wrong with the servers. But unfortunately, today I cleared out a lot of stuff that I had, and the Peppermint ISOs appear to have been one of the things that I got rid of. Which is funny that I got rid of them because I usually keep a copy of ISOs around for anything I'm presently running in production. And I am running Peppermint in production right now. You know what, though? I bet I could extract an ISO from the installation media that I used to install it on the other computer the other day. That's interesting. Try here. Copy link address. Let's try that one. Paste and go. Go to site. Okay, let's see if that works. That will mean clearing my things out there. Let's do that. Okay, the torrent's working. I'm downloading from one peer right now. That one does appear to be working, Vince. The one on Linux Tracker does appear to be working. It's going to take 7 hours to download. It's telling me, oh, we're down to 6 hours, 5 hours, 3 hours. We'll see how long that takes to download. But yeah, Vince, that one does seem to work. Discontinue, what that mean for current PEP users? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, is there any word that's being discontinued, or is it just a server issue? Could very well be a server issue. I'm getting, it's actually telling me 5 minutes left. I'm getting 14 seeds right now. No, it's not in my downloads folder. Actually, I don't move my ISOs out of the downloads folder. That's why I knew it wasn't there anymore. But what I am going to do is I'm going to take this link that Vince gave us, and I'm going to post this onto the video from yesterday. So let me go ahead and pull that one up. And we're going to go ahead and put that in there. All right. Let's go there. Pause you. Go down. No, don't show more. All right. So I just pinned that link to the top of the, I just pinned that link to the top of my video from yesterday. Oh, Anubis blames the cat. Hey, kitty. Kitty. Don't cause Peppermint to go down, kitty cat. Yeah, it should continue. If I knew more about how to do that kind of stuff, I'd help volunteer time. But the best I could do is I could help volunteer maintenance for their websites. Maybe a little bit of server space. All right. But anyway, let's go ahead and feed the kitty cat, and then we'll wrap this guy up when the comments run dry. I think I'm using transmission. I'm using transmission. Come here. Are you going to moon everybody? Come here. Come here. There you go, buddy. Oh, boy, kitty. Oh, boy, kitty. Oh, boy. Give us some paw. Give us some paw. Give us some paw. Yeah, we got some paw. Come on. Give us some face. Oh, he got it. Let's go one more right here. And we'll do one more for disc camera right here. There you go. Are they finger licking good? They are. They're finger licking good. Yes, they are. They're finger licking good. Huh. 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 Here, you can have your cat pad back now. There you go. Have your cat pad back. He's like, I got my kitty treats. I might get out of here now. He's such a fair weather friend. Yep. He's like, I'm out of here, yo. Excuse me. Your butt's way too close to my tea. Cat's like, oh yeah? Well, I think of your tea. Yeah, I mean, yeah, thanks. Is it Nubs with guns? My apologies. My apologies. Hands are up, man. Hands are up. Don't get me. Okay, maybe want to write a blurb with the link, date, and time, something that affects people that have a way to get to it, yeah. Kitty OS, he uses Puppy Linux. Sudo update kitty. Downloading treats. I know you're joking, all right. Kitty, feed me. Sudo feed me. Who man? That's right. Kitty doesn't use sudo. He runs as root. That's right. He's like, I'm so perfect. I run everything as root. All right. Well, I think we are going to go ahead and click the off button on this stream here. Once again, we will not be streaming over here tomorrow. We might still hit the Christian stream tomorrow afternoon. I don't know for sure, but we're going to shoot for it. And we will be back. Weekly news roundup on Friday, and we will not be streaming on Saturday. So with that, guys, we will catch everybody later. Thanks for hanging out and the information, and we'll get this edited video up here before too long. So we will catch you guys later.